Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Computer America Show. It's Wednesday. We got a great program planned for you. Both hours, consumer electronics expert Sandy Berger is here with us. I can't think of a better person to have with us here on the day of all of the new Apple announcements, which are just finishing up now. So we're going to start in 15 seconds. Sit back, relax, enjoy Computer America.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome into a Wednesday edition of the show. And it's really an exciting day. Apple has just unveiled all of their new products. Some surprises, some not so surprising. We're going to talk about what has transpired. If you haven't had a chance to hear about the new iPhones, the new iPads, the new Apple TV, some really interesting things, we're going to be talking about it today with our guest, Sandy Berger. If you have a comment or a question, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. 8881. I'll get you on and get you through. You can also, if you don't want to go on the air but you have a comment or question, you can also go to ComputerAmerica.com, which is the internet home of Computer America. And you'll see at the upper right-hand corner of every page that we have there, it says Submit a Question. Just click that, and you will get our question submission page. You can just type what you want, and click the Submit button, and both Ben and I will see your question. We'll ask it live on the air. So two different ways you can communicate with us. The other way you can interact with us, yes, we're a radio talk show, but we also now provide live video streaming here of Computer America. Just go to the Show Lounge page. It's, again, on every single page. It's on the menu bar at ComputerAmerica.com. Click the Show Lounge, and it will automatically take you to our live video streaming page. It will begin automatically. You'll be able to see everything that's going on as well as hear everything that's going on. And you just get that additional experience. Ben also has the technology to display websites, movies, videos, everything. He can display that as well, so it just makes for a more interactive suggestion. And my apologies, we couldn't get the show notes up in time for Sandy Berger. It just came in a little bit too late. We couldn't get it up in time for the show, but we will post them after the program. You'll see it'll say cheat notes, and then you can download the cheat notes and follow along with this, because we have associated links and everything that we're going to be talking about today are on the cheat notes. So in the meantime, we should introduce our guest, Sandy Berger, unless you have anything else you want to mention, Ben, before we get started.
Check us out on Stitcher, check us out on SoundCloud, check us out on our archives, check us out on iTunes. You know, go proliferate among the internet as you will. And I think since we've talked 22 hours ago, nothing has changed. So, I think we're ready to bring on Sandy Berger.
Okay, but you do mention two great points, and that is we are now available. You can hear our live, you can hear our audio now on SoundCloud, and you can also hear us on Stitcher too. The archives of the show, they're now available there, and that's a recent addition. And now joining us today is Sandy Berger. Sandy is a consumer electronics expert, well-versed in things like printers, cell phones, digital cameras, and other devices. Her website is CompuKiss.com, and Sandy is one of our Computer America correspondents who appears here on the show on a monthly basis. Sandy, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well, Greg.
And thanks so much for being with us here on today's show. And again, this is, I think, your first appearance on our new daytime schedule.
It is.
You look. There's more sunlight in the room. You look bright.
I'm excited. Hey, I'm a morning person, so this is perfect for me.
Very good. I love to hear that. We have had so many people say that they're now watching the show and listening to it live because it just fits into their daytime schedule. We're in our second week now. From 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, you can now listen to Computer America Live. That doesn't mean you can't listen to us time shifted as normal. All the other places that you listen to us time shifted on Blog Talk Radio Network, on iTunes. Again, we mentioned SoundCloud, Stitcher. All those places do carry the show that will archive, so you can listen to it. And also our live YouTube video stream. You can watch the show there in delayed format. But the most fun is listening to us when we're live, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. So let me just tell you a little bit about Sandy. Sandy has been with us now for quite some time. She's our consumer electronics expert. One of the things that we like about Sandy is that when she tells you about a product or service, you're getting the real deal with her. She will tell you if she likes it and why she likes it, and if she doesn't like it, she's going to tell you that as well and why she doesn't like it. So you're really getting the true scoop with Sandy, and so that's one of the things that we really like about her. Well, yeah, so there you go. Anyhow, so Sandy, we're going to start, but before we get into the topics that we've chosen, and again, you can visit her at CompuKiss, COMPUKISS.com. Before we get to that, I want to start talking about the Apple event, which I think is almost finalizing now. I mean, it's still on.
Right.
Was last I checked. But there are several new products announced. Starting with, I believe, the iPad Pro. There was a lot of speculation about the iPad Pro, and this is a larger version of the iPad. The iPad has always been 10. Was about 10 inches diagonally. The
Right.
iPad Pro now is
12.9.
12.9. Yes.
Big.
Wait,
Big.
it's called the iPad Pro?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I'm the only one here, I guess, and maybe among our audience that did not see the keynote, so I'll be,
Okay.
kind of
You can ask the questions.
All right, so iPad Pro, it
Right.
seemed
Yeah.
to make a big deal about that.
Yeah. They are saying everything's changed with the iPad. Now you have the iPad Pro. They also introduced something called the iPad Mini 3. They added Touch ID to it as well. But
Right.
the iPad Pro now has the larger screen, as you've mentioned, and they were talking about one of the new things that they've added to the iPad Pro. I'm looking at even the Apple website has not been updated yet, so it doesn't reflect any of this.
Mm.
Is the Apple Pencil, which is really a stylus. And I remember Steve Jobs when he first introduced the iPhone. He says, "You don't want a stylus, yuck,"
Exactly. I read that's the first thing I thought of when I heard them announce the stylus.
Yeah, exactly. But they're not calling it a stylus; they're calling it a pencil.
No,
But-
they're calling it an Apple Pencil.
An Apple Pencil, right? And
Right.
but it's really a marvelous little piece of technology. It's rechargeable. It lasts for a long time. But they have a lightning connector on the bottom of the. You pull the cap off or the back side of it, and you can charge it up if you want to. It really allows you. It gives you, for people who are designing, it gives you almost like pixel access to the iPad Pro screen. You can, and of course, it's pressure sensitive. It's tilt sensitive, so the strokes, if you're drawing, will reflect the angle of the pencil and how much pressure you're putting onto it. It's truly an integrated system with the iPad Pro. What's your reflections on this so far?
Well, they actually put a lot more into it than I thought they were going to, and a lot of it is improvements that you would expect. All right, so the display is 5.6 million pixels. It should be a really good display. The new chip that they're using is like 2 times faster than the one in the iPad Air. The one thing and I expected it to be a really big thing. The one thing the size gives you is that you can have a full-size on-screen keyboard. And of course, the camera is a little bit better, and it's got all the things that the iPad Air had. So I think the biggest change, actually, they're going to have 4 speakers in it.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, that should give you pretty good audio on that, too.
I would think so. yeah, the audio portion of the because it's so much bigger, they can add more and more
Right.
better
Right.
speakers into it.
And yet they didn't add much as far as weight goes. So that was pretty amazing that these things just keep getting smaller and smaller.
They compared it to the original iPad, and they showed that the original iPad, and actually it's got 75% more in it, and it weighs a little less than the original iPad.
Yeah, that's just totally amazing to me. It did have one thing that impressed me, the variable refresh rate. That's going to make a big difference in using it. Of course, it's going to be more powerful as well. So,
And that will affect the battery life, I would imagine, too.
yeah, exactly, because they can turn down the refresh rate when you don't need it. You
Yep.
don't need to use power on it.
No.
It's going to sell for $799 for the 32 gig.
Mhm.
And it'll go all the way up to, I don't know, they had like 2 other prices with more memory. Oh, how I wish they would have put a memory card in there so I wouldn't have to spend more money up front to get more, I mean,
Mhm.
that's been one of my quips with this the whole time.
They're sticking to their basic form factor.
They are, and to their original idea that they wouldn't put a USB drive in there, which a lot of tablets have now.
It seems like they could have fit it though. Like these things are getting bigger and bigger, and definitely you have the real estate now on the edges to put a
Exactly.
a hard reader. You think they would?
No, this is just their standards. They don't want to give in. I mean, there are some things that Apple does that they just don't want to give in, and I guess they get that from Steve Jobs, and it's still part of their mentality that if they say this is the way it's going to be, then this is the way it's going to be.
Weird one to stick to because that one would be such an appeal to a lot of people out there who want that internal storage because not only are they making advancements in the read-write speed of these little micro SD cards, but the capacity of these things. I mean, someone just announced like a 1 terabyte micro SD card.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah, they're so useful, and you would think if Apple was trying to push these onto students, onto businessmen, on just anyone who would need that kind of file storage, then you think that they would kind of.
You'd think they would,
yeah.
But they didn't. I will say that this seems to be geared more at businesses than the home user. I mean, for the home user, it's going to have some advantages. It'll be faster, and obviously the big screen is going to make a big difference. If you want the big screen, you're going to have to go to this one. But as far as the things that they can do with it, they also showed a lot of various applications. And the applications were really, hey, if I was a graphic designer, I'd be running out to get one of these.
Yeah, well, don't walk, don't run.
Right.
Don't run, don't walk. Yes,
exactly. If I was a doctor and they've got a lot of medical things on here, and that relates back to the Apple Watch that we'll talk about later. But, I mean, there are certain professional people that this is geared toward. So I guess if they spend $7.99 or they get more storage for $9.99, it's not a big deal if you're doing it from the standpoint of supporting a business. But if you're a home user, it's a lot more.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense.
Did you see the keyboard that came with it?
Yes, it actually is covered with some sort of fabric that they describe. And
really cool.
And it connects. It doesn't use Bluetooth to connect, which is interesting. So I guess that helps with the battery life. There are like 3 little round connectors that kind of clicked into it, magnetic, and then it covers you. It covers it up so you can't even see it, and it gives you the seamless direct connect to the iPad Pro, and it looks like it's a full keyboard. You get the full throw on the keys. You get up and down. It's not a membrane keyboard.
Right. It looked absolutely fabulous. But they are charging extra for it, so the keyboard's going to be $169.
Yeah, I'm going to switch over to Ben's screen because Ben is actually showing those. If you're watching our live video, Ben.
It was hard enough to find. I mean, this news just came out, so finding a picture of these things is pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
but the Smart Keyboard looks great. The pencil you saw there briefly, if you're watching the feed,
mhm.
is going to be a $99 extra. So
Not
this,
bad. The $99 is not bad considering what it does. You know.
no, it's not. But you look at the Samsung Note or something where the stylus is included. Um, Apple has always been more expensive, and they're going to keep being more expensive, I guess. But the keyboard that we're looking at, if you're watching the feed, is really good looking. It's a full keyboard, and the idea that you don't have to do Bluetooth is fantastic, because I have several tablets that I have keyboards on now, and I have to charge them up separately, or they'll lose the Bluetooth connection. I have to reconnect them.
Uh,
So that Bluetooth thing is a real pain, and I love the keyboard
yeah,
connecting without Bluetooth.
and it makes sense. You don't really need Bluetooth. I mean, because when they're together, they're next to each other. You don't really need that connection. To have a direct connection to it does make a lot.
So NFC.
What?
Or no,
No,
well,
this has sensors on it that you're attaching the keyboard to 3 little sensors. So it's
Physically
going
connected.
physically right into the computer,
Right into the tab.
oh, okay.
into the tablet, yes.
Slides right in. It connects. It makes contact, and then you can't even see it. It covers up, so you don't even see the connection. So it makes it seamless looking. But it is a direct connection. There's no wireless involved. The keyboard will talk directly. That means you don't have to charge the keyboard. It's just it's there and it's done. And and I think and it holds the iPad Pro at the proper angle too. A couple of the things they mentioned about the iPad Pro, which I thought was amazing, they had several of the software vendors come on, and one of them was Adobe, and they showed something called Photoshop Fix, which that blew me away. He showed how you could take you could just use gestures, and it would to create a screen or a layout using Adobe, and then he pasted in a picture of a model, and he said the model's smile wasn't big enough. And so with something called Photoshop Fix, and by the way, with the iPad Pro and OS 9, you're going to be able to do simultaneous. You're going to run apps simultaneously.
Yeah, on the screen at the same time. Yeah.
Same time, side by side, the multi-function. And when he clicked the model's mouth, and he was able to, using Photoshop Fix, make her smile. He actually able to rate, and it wasn't a cartoonish looking. I mean, he did it. It looks like she was smiling because the software has recognition capability, so it knows what it's dealing with the face. That kind of blew me away.
That blew me away too, and I'll tell you, one thing that Apple does very, very well is these demonstrations that they give. I mean, I came out of there saying, I want to buy this.
Yeah.
Just because of all the things it can do. And yet, it's really only incrementally better. It's not.
Well,
it's bigger, it's better, it's got a lot more in it, but
then
most people aren't going to need it.
Then go back about 3 or 4 slides there. I want to show because Phil Schiller said there was no, one more. See, it's 12.9, and he said there's a reason that it's 12.9 inches. Why is it 12.9? Then go to the next slide, and you see he actually took the 12.9 and if you take the iPad Pro and lay it down on its side in landscape, then the 12.9 becomes the actual size of the screen, and then you have all the additional stuff to the right. That's what that little line is. So
right.
It's one seamless integration. So a lot of thought obviously went into this, and you can see these things. Again, they have the Force technology that which first surfaced in the iWatch, the Apple Watch. And that's now they have the new A9 chip, which is 3rd generation.
Faster.
And let's see, what else did they demonstrate? They
when they went into the apps, the first person they brought out was from Microsoft.
Yes.
I mean, for anybody who's been following Apple for its lifetime, to have somebody from Microsoft on an Apple stage was pretty phenomenal.
I remember when Bill Gates first did that with Steve Jobs, that he came into, and there was boos actually came from the audience, and it was embarrassing. And Steve just said, no, everything's fine. We're working together. Now there were no boos, and there was polite applause, and actually, when they started demonstrating some of the things they could do, they got some very good applause. So
this is a Microsoft Office for the iPad Pro. They're having a special version.
And the special version, and that works with the Apple Pencil. which is nice. And again, and there are 3 different prices. It starts at $7.99.
These prices, my God, you guys didn't prepare me for that.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Starting at $799, and then you've got to add more memory.
Ah.
$1,000 very easily.
The last one also includes the cell application.
So does a $20 burner phone from CVS. Wow. Where's the $130 come in?
Well, $949 if you want the 64 gigs, and then you have to pay $169 for the keyboard and $99 for the pencil, because you're not going to get this without the keyboard and the pencil.
Right.
So you are up to $1,200 or so.
Jeez.
Very easily.
That's it. Well, but as you said, it's also a visceral thing. If you're an artist, you want to draw.
It's a business expense, is what Craig is saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's there's a lot of other intelligence. There's something going on which nobody mentioned. But when you're using the Apple Pencil, what do? You rest your hand on the screen, but it didn't affect it. You could use the Apple Pencil while your hand, because the heel of your hand kind of rests on the surface, but it didn't affect it. And also, with your left hand, you can slide things like a ruler, a transparent ruler, so you can use the ruler with the pencil. They've thought it through how people actually use it, and it doesn't detract from what I guess putting the heel of your hand on the screen does not affect its operation.
Right. I was very impressed with the technology that they put into this, and not so impressed with the prices, I guess.
And I think it's always going to be that way, Sandy.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to blow you away, and you're going to say, yeah, but the prices. But the point is, hey, you get what you want.
Yeah, if you want the greatest and the latest and the best, you're going to pay for it.
And that just seems to be what it is. So that's it for the iPad Pro.
Right. Now, they did also talk about the prices coming down on some of the other iPads.
Yes, they mentioned
so the iPad 2, which I really don't like at all, but it's $269. They announced a new Mini 4 that's going to be $399. And I don't know exactly what the improvements are. And then the iPad, the Air 2 is still going to be $499.
Yep, they're continuing those models as well, but now they're adding to the line the new additional iPads. So the Pro and of
Do you
course.
think it's going to be a good move, yay or nay? Because obviously there's going to be some backwards compatibility with the resolution, but not going 4K, like that seems to be the buzzword. Like even the highest priced iMacs are 4K and 5K. Like, do you think it was wise for them to not do a 4K iPad Pro and just go with the 4 to 3 aspect ratio?
I do. I think that they put the money into this thing exactly where they needed to. Like Craig said, that you put your hand on it, that you can pull all these things out. They gave people what they really need. Now tell me how many people really need a 4K screen.
Exactly. I mean, I didn't even thought about it. Can you imagine trying to write while you have to hold your hand over it rather than just resting your hand on the screen?
Right.
Well, that technology isn't extremely new, because I believe Wacom tablets.
That's right.
Wacom.
They have that.
Yeah, they have that too. So that's not completely unheard of, but it's definitely a much needed feature for.
Well, they steal from everybody else, just like everybody else steals from them. I mean, the Note came out with a stylus a couple years ago, the Samsung Note, and so they're just playing catch up. The thing that Apple does well is when they're just playing catch up, is that they put a few extra things in there so that they can actually reach the next level at the same time.
Excellent.
Right.
Well, okay, so the iPad was one of the. I missed the Apple Watch announcements, and we'll go back.
Well, the Apple Watch was not much new. They're going to have a new operating system for it, Apple Watch 2. They have new colors, which were very nice. The rose gold, I thought was great, and the new bands were fantastic. Because the one thing I have not liked about the bands is that they were really. The colors of the plastic bands, but now they've got some new colors. Looked really nice. I'm tempted to wonder if I should get one now, because they have also increased the apps, and they showed all that. There's 1,000 apps or more for the watch now. So the question that I'm asking myself, and a lot of other people will be asking themselves, is this the time to buy now, because they did not announce new hardware. They put everything, increased everything through the software.
Right. All right. Well, I want to move on to the next thing. There were, I think, the three big announcements, and the next one was Apple TV, and we were. I was wondering what they're going to do. Were they coming out with a TV set, or they were going to just take what they had and make massive improvements to the Apple TV? And it was the latter. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't think Apple needs to come out with a TV set. They just need to come out with the little black box that works with any TV they should put it. And they introduced the Apple TV, and I really was blown away with this. This is the first Apple TV that I think really has a shot at doing with it, because they rethought they kept the Apple TV pretty much the same size. They made it a little taller, and that was about it. And I think the star of this is the remote control.
The whole thing just blew me away.
Yeah.
When I say that Apple catches up with the competition and then goes one step farther, that's what they did here, because Amazon came out with their Fire TV over a year ago, and that had the voice controlled and the remote control. So Apple now is playing catch up with that, and yet what they've integrated is so phenomenal that I don't know that Amazon can ever catch up to that.
Well, first of all, in the remote control, they've added an accelerometer and a gyroscope, and we'll talk about the two. But to me, I think one of the most intuitive, natural things that they've added to the Apple TV remote is this little touch surface that's at the top, which you can rest your thumb on comfortably, and that and it allows you to do gestures, move up, down, left, right. But it's all on this touch surface. And with that, just that alone, you can do some incredible things with the Apple TV.
The thing that they displayed that I thought was phenomenal is where this is all run by Siri, so the voice is the Siri voice.
Yes.
But when they showed that you could ask Siri, what did she say or what did he say?
Yeah.
And it would go back 15 seconds so you could hear the last 15 seconds.
And give you closed captioning, so you could read it on top of that.
Exactly. I was just sitting there saying, wow, is that spectacular? You could ask Siri all these questions, or you could use the touch that you're talking about to actually scroll through the movies.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the scrolling too, everything is has a 3D effect, because if you just leave your thumb on something, it'll actually kind of move slightly, a little bit like what your iPhone does now. It kind of tilts slightly, and you can see everything, and which I thought was a nice cosmetic touch that they added to it. But yes, Siri is there. You hit the button, and you can say things, show me all the action movies, and it'll start giving you say, well, that only stars Clint Eastwood, right? And you can narrow it down, or the James Bond films, and then say, but only show me the ones with Sean Connery. You can just say it that way, and it will come up and show you the ones. You can really drill down to what it is that you're looking for with a few simple, natural statements.
Words, yeah, and Siri will also search across multiple apps, which is a problem that the Amazon Fire had. I mean, you have to be in the Netflix app to find out what's on, if it's on Netflix or it's on Hulu or whatever. You could just ask Siri, where is this series or where is this movie, and she'll find it for you and see if you've subscribed or not.
And it'll show you all of them at the same time. I mean, you'll see Netflix, Hulu. You'll see them all there with the selection, and you can go over just to the Netflix, and it'll show you which ones are on Netflix or which ones are on Hulu. But when you back up, you can see all the different sources that are available. And again, just very, very fluid, very easy to use. I want.
Yeah, I want one. This is going to make Roku go back to the drawing board on what they've done, and Amazon and all the others, because I think the price was $199. Is that right?
Yes, that was. I think there was two versions. I think.
What were the two versions? I don't recall.
I don't recall. Yeah, again, there were two versions.
It kills me that this thing has voice control.
Yeah.
This thing has controls that you control with your voice.
Yeah.
And Craig Crossman says he can't wait to get one, and apparently when you pose the question, yeah, TV will be controlled by voice. Craig said, no, 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 that will never happen.
Well, no, I didn't say that. What I said is that there's some things that are better just going up, down, looking at a channel, doing channel surfing. You don't need that. But when you're looking for general categories to find things,
You
yes.
never qualified it like that.
Yes, I did many, many times, and I have the shows to prove.
We have archives to prove this. I'm just saying, I'm glad they integrated it because that was my point. I think voice control certainly belongs, and to put it in there, nice move, Apple, nice move.
And very nice move. Hey, we got lots more to talk about. We're at the bottom of the hour. Sandy Berger, our consumer electronics expert, joins us for both hours. You're listening to the Computer America Show. We've got a news test bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up as well. Lots more to talk about. Please stay with us. You're listening to the one and only Computer America.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. I want to tell you something about VTech. They always have the coolest telephone systems around. VTech's new 4-line small business phone system, the perfect solution for small business owners that need to install a phone system that has qualities and features that have previously only been available for companies with bigger budgets. First of all, this new system is the most affordable and easy to install 4-line phone system on the market. Its components allow the system to grow alongside a business, up to 10 extensions that can be located anywhere. The 4-line small business phone system also comes equipped with a number of advanced features such as auto attendant for each line, a digital answering machine with mailboxes for every extension, full duplex speakerphones, music on hold, power failure operation, 6-way conferencing, and much, much more. The VTech 4-line small business phone system is available in stores and online at Office Depot, Office Max, and Staples, as well as online at www.vtechphones.com. Tell them I sent you.
No, mine was a Chambord milkshake. Oh, hi, it's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America, this time the Nora Lighting Edge-Lit LED fixture. Once we all deal with new bulbs and old sockets, LED lighting is all about fixtures that get installed once and last for longer than you're likely to own the place. Nora Lighting sent us their Edge-Lit LED fixture for review, and wow, we're impressed. It's a 2-foot square panel with an even corner-to-corner glow. It uses 38 watts total for a diffuse, even light that's brighter than 460-watt bulbs. It also has a high color rendering index, good quality white. Yes, it's dimmable, down to 5%, and yes, they offer other sizes and color temperatures. Here's the capper. A 50,000-hour life expectancy. At 3 hours per night, that's 45 years. Bottom line, edge-lit LED lighting panels from Nora Lighting are great lights with great expectations for maintenance-free longevity. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show, 33 minutes past the hour, and we are here with Sandy Berger. We are really diving into this whole Apple announcement thing that happened today. For anyone out there who did not catch the actual keynote, which I believe is still going on right now. It's a whole event, and I think there's like a band playing right now.
Well, here's the thing. I think if the band is playing, I think it's over. I think it's over.
Right.
Did the fat lady sing?
Yeah. We're talking right now about the Apple TV and some of the really cool things. Right now we're kind of talking about the remote control. Again, 347-884-8881. Love to hear from you. So one of the other cool things I liked about the remote for the Apple TV, and this actually got an applause and then an acknowledgement from the gentleman on stage is that it uses Bluetooth, so you don't need line of sight. You don't have to point the Apple remote at the Apple TV. It's a subtlety, but actually makes a lot of sense. It uses Bluetooth 4.0 to communicate with it, so you don't have to worry about line of sight or tilt the remote toward it to get the results.
And it can do a lot more than just find movies. I mean, because Siri is built in, they've built in things like you can ask her what the weather is going to be, sports scores,
Yes.
schedules, stats.
Sports scores and stats. That they had the MLB.com. They had on the stage with them, and they were showing that you could watch the ball game in full high definition, and then you could actually monitor more than one ball game in high definition, and then pull up stats about it and kind of interact with the statistics, and then focus on the show that you want to see at that particular moment, and then go back and forth, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the MLB thing looked like it was really worthwhile because you could do everything on it. You can move it, zoom it, whatever. But then they said it won't be out until October.
Yes.
So now I just looked up the World Series, and it's October 21st to the 29th.
Well.
So hopefully if they come out with it at the beginning of October, it would really be exciting to watch this MLB. You see, my husband and I are Cubs fans.
Ah.
Oh, poor thing.
Yes, it's been a sad lifetime rooting for the Cubbies. And this year they have won, like, I don't know, 5 in a row. They're doing really well. They might get a wild card spot. And if they got in the World Series, boy, I'd have to go to Apple and have them give me a demo if it wasn't out yet.
And you mentioned there are two versions. There's the 32 gigs for $149 and 64 gigs for $199. I'm not sure what the additional memory gives you.
You could store, movies on it or songs.
Okay. So,
right.
so
now it's going to be integrated with iTunes Music as well, although that's all online.
Mm-hmm.
However, the games, they had a ton of games that are going to be available for it.
now is the gigabyte also, does it act like a DVR? Is what you're saying, Apple TV, so you can actually?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure why you would need more, except I'm thinking if it was for the games.
Okay.
Yeah, just local storage. Some people have copies of movies that they've received in other places, and just have those movies stored or have music stored in MP3. Just anything that isn't connected through iTunes, which admittedly most of what you do on this thing is going to be through iTunes, but some people don't. Some people have it.
And then there was the thing of gaming, because they built an accelerometer and a gyroscope into that remote control for a reason. And they showed a couple of games where you would actually sort of like, it reminded me a little bit of how you used to use the Wii controller. You would you would flick it around. You could hit objects with it,
right.
And you can do that with the Apple TV remote.
Yeah, so the games were fantastic. Everything from children's games to Guitar Hero. I thought Guitar Hero would be really good on a big screen TV. And then the other part of the announcement was that if you're playing a game on your iPhone and you come home by your Apple TV, you can transfer right where you are in that game to the TV.
That's nice.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. I mean, everything has been terribly well thought out. Of course, they've been working on this Apple TV forever, it seems.
Yeah. I remember when Steve Jobs says, "Well, I think we got it right this time,"
Yeah. No. So they have been doing it for a long time, and then there was all that talk, as you said, about would they be actually doing a TV set, and but this device, I mean, it's going to make the competitors go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and again, I don't think Apple needs to be in a physical TV set. I think they just make these devices that work with any TV, the TV of your choice. I think that's going to be the smart move. It's certainly affordable. It has an HDMI socket. It also has an Ethernet socket as well, and power. So the two main things you need to hook it up. You will also be able to control your TV's volume or your
your audio volume, even if it wasn't TV. If you had a receiver, you could switch. It would switch the settings on it to HDMI, whatever.
So you can control your AV receiver. You can control your TV's volume again with the same remote. So you're not juggling multiple remotes. You can do it all with the Apple remote, and yet with all that functionality, it's such a simple remote control. It's not bristling with zillions of buttons.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have a picture there.
Ben's got it up on
Ben,
his.
does he have it up? Okay,
Yep.
There we go. Okay, so that I mean, it's so simple. And yet it does so much, which is obviously what Apple does the best at.
Yeah. That touch area at the top of the remote, which you put your thumb on, to me is amazing. It just gives it so much functionality. And between that and Siri, you're going to have everything that you need.
And after looking at the iPad, and we looked at, we were taken aback by the thought that we'd have to put in over $1,000 really to get an iPad Pro. The price on this thing doesn't sound bad at all.
No, the Apple TV has never been an overly expensive product, and it holds this tradition, $149 or $199.
Yeah, and they did announce that the Apple TV that's out there now is going to be at a reduced price of like $39 or something like that. But you don't want to buy one. let me tell you, you don't want to buy the original Apple TV.
No, you don't. I'm sorry to say, but you don't. You
save your pennies if you have to.
Yeah, this is what you want. I mean, this is the true Apple the true experience, TV experience. It gives you everything that you're going to need, and it has all these additional abilities. It's just going to make your TV experience a richer one. And,
right.
It's the first Apple TV that I would actually want to add to my system because
that's right.
Until then, I couldn't see it, but now, I think this is going to let me find programming that I need.
I appreciate that it's a nice piece of technology and everything. It's just I don't think I could really justify the service part of it. Like, I have Netflix and Amazon Prime and all that kind of stuff. It's just, are they trying to target cord cutters? Are they trying to target people who have yet to cut the cord? Who do you think they're trying to push this to?
Well, they're trying to push it to anybody who's already buying into these Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. And I did hear them say that this was going to support Netflix and Hulu. I did not hear Amazon. Did you hear that, Greg?
No, I did not hear Amazon. But
okay, so I wondered that. And the music thing, I mean, I have a lot of music in Amazon. I have no music in iTunes. Yeah. But, of course, I could subscribe to iTunes Music if I wanted to.
You have
if it
and
comes
you can play the
with any
music.
kind of...
You can play the music through the TV, which is why I was mentioning that. Okay.
Right. If it comes with any kind of browser support, which I'm sure it does, then you could get Amazon through that way. So that's there's a little bit of a workaround there, which of course that'll work. It's just again it's I don't see their market like I get that they are part of that whole dedicated device for watching television. It's just with this and their beefed up offering, they're probably one of the best, between Apple TV, Roku, and the Apple
Fire.
or the Amazon Fire. That's it. It's just, it seems to have gotten a little muddier since these products first hit the market.
Yeah, but aren't they positioning themselves to actually take advantage of anything that happens there? For instance, they're having MLB TV, and they announced that they're going to have hockey.
Yes.
In 2016. So all they have to do is keep adding things to this. They didn't mention HBO, but they have HBO on the first Apple TV, right?
Yes, and you also mentioned you have the Amazon Echo. I know you like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think you have to abandon the Amazon Echo. I think they're two different products. The Amazon Echo is not when you're not watching TV and you need a Jarvis kind of assistant.
Exactly.
And so that's fine. But when you're sitting in front of your TV now, you don't really use the Amazon Echo. You're going to need something like an Apple TV.
Right, unless I want my TV to play music.
Okay. Well, you have Apple. You have Apple Music for that.
Then I'd have to have Apple Music, right? Which is okay, but that's what it's all about. You're choosing an ecosystem, and the Apple ecosystem is very vastly increased with this. But they still they didn't, unless we missed it because we had to turn off the
Yeah.
the event so we could come online here. But unless we missed it, they didn't mention anything about the Apple HomeKit, which would be the competitor to the Amazon Echo.
Yeah. I watched it as long as I could, and then we had to
Yeah.
go. I will follow up. I'll watch the entire the rest of the broadcasts when they make that available. You can watch it later on.
Yeah, we left when they just started talking about the iPhone, and it would be the iPhone 6S.
Yes, and we're gonna get to the iPhone in a moment, because there's some amazing things there too that they announced. But let's finish up with the Apple TV. So again, it uses Bluetooth 4.0 for the remote. It uses Siri. I didn't hear Siri speak though. I know Siri reckon. Did you hear Siri? I didn't hear Siri talk back. I just heard responding to the commands.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. There were a lot of commands that they were giving, and she was responding. So
although you saw it visually at the bottom of the screen, you saw it.
Right.
Right,
when the girl asked, "Can you go back?" or I didn't hear that, and then it just automatically went back 15 seconds.
Yeah, I love that.
I did too.
Yeah, that's they could have put a back 10 seconds or back 30 seconds, but doing it with Siri, I mean, it takes you right back to the point, but just before the woman starts speaking, so you can hear it again, which is basically a variable time shift, which is like an instant replay but variable with
right.
intelligent control.
Yeah, it's great.
It is great.
And for all the tinfoil wearers out there, yes, they will probably be monitoring all conversation you have with Siri through any platform. So it happens, And I remember a television from Samsung, I believe, got into some hot water for allegedly recording people's conversations when it was, just technology just like this. So.
And the one thing that we'll talk about when we talk about the iPhone is that they did announce that the Hey Siri thing would be available even if you didn't have it plugged in. Right now, you have to have your iPhone plugged in to have Hey Siri work.
I could walk into any Starbucks, scream at the top of my voice, "Hey Siri,"
Hey Siri,
and get 100 phones. Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah,
I think you should try that.
I do. It's interesting. I do use that feature. Usually when I have my iPhone in a dock right next to my bed, and then it's nighttime and I can just say, "Hey Siri, set an alarm for 9 a.m." I mean, I can do the "Hey Siri," what time it is. I can see everything without having to reach fumble in the nighttime. So that's very convenient. But you're saying that Hey Siri version, I guess you can turn it on and turn it off like as with anything else, but it won't need to be powered. To take advantage of that.
Right, that's what it sounds like. And
that part of iOS 9 or the new iPhones, which we haven't talked about yet.
I think that's part of the new iPhones.
Okay.
But it could be part of the OS 9 because I'm not really sure. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing is that the same thing works for Cortana. You say, "Hey Cortana."
Right.
And I've got two Windows 10 computers sitting next to each other. And boy, if you have that turned on, does that cause confusion? They both answer you.
There you go. You can have one talking to the other one. See if you get that going. So you just have them talking to each other and see what happens.
Well, there have been instances where somebody on TV was named Alexa, and Alexa is the Amazon Echo, which I have not too far from the TV, and she says, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. What was it, your question?" Okay. So you think these devices will be fighting each other in the future? Maybe we'll have too many in our homes.
Well, we'll need a special hub so that it'll control all of your voice recognition systems.
See, that's why you just go with the classics. Just do clap on, clap off, and none of this confusing names.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you needed. It was the clap on.
Clap on, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Change channel, clap, and you're done. You're good to go.
Well, they are coming out with new routers now. Google has a router that's coming out that's having the hub built in, like for lights and things like that. It'll have all that built in. So pretty soon your router is going to be able to control everything in your house without additional.
That's one thing I've liked because for the longest time, ever since Wi-Fi became a thing, routers and modems and just technology like that has always been a sore point because you want it in the middle of your house, out in the open, so everyone can get the best signal that they can possibly get. But at the same time, it was ugly pieces of technology in giant ugly boxes with ugly wires hanging out of them, and that's just the way it's always been. So for them to build hubs in, and I know this is just Google's initial offering, and hopefully others follow suit, but to make these things hubs and to make them actually look somewhat appealing, and just so that you can have them out in the open and no one's going to question it, like, because I hate having to shove them under desks, having to put them in closets, because it obviously degrades the signal, but they're so important, yet you have to hide them.
I agree. And if you look at this Google Hub that we're talking about, it looks very much like the Amazon Echo. It's
Yeah,
a
it does.
9-inch high, black. I think it comes in blue too, but anyway. But the point of it's a good idea to have it in the middle of the house. It's a great idea. But how do you get the wires to it? Right now your modem is usually in a side room someplace where you didn't, like you said, you didn't want to see it. So does that mean if I want to get one of these and put them in the middle of the house, which would be great for reception and every other reason, but I would have to actually move my wiring, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So, there it is.
Yeah.
It's called the On.
Yep, the On Hub.
Well,
No,
I think it's called
It's called the Google On Hub. That's right.
On Hub.
And
Yes. Okay.
it looks like a cup. It looks like just a large cylinder. Not bad looking at all. But of course, most people would have to rewire because the entry point for wires was, again, just like you said, in one of those side rooms.
Right.
Drill through the wall of your house and get it into a side room. So it would have to be somewhere out in the open. But ideally, that's where it should have been to begin with.
That's right.
You just didn't want that ugly thing being
That's
there
right.
anyways. So.
But now, I mean, you can if it's got all the hubs built in, you would basically only need your modem, and then you go wireless from there. But even moving your modem wiring could be
Right.
a hassle.
yeah.
Right. Well, some people don't like dealing with all those repeaters, extenders, and that kind of thing. It gets bothersome at some point. So.
No, this is a move forward. I think it's going to take a while to catch on, but it is definitely a move forward.
Since most people, and yes, folks at home, you're probably one of these people. Most people rent their routers. They rent them from their ISP. They don't actually go out and buy them. And you absolutely should. You absolutely should go buy it, because the stuff that you rent is dated, a couple years old. They have better stuff all the time. They have one from Netgear that looks like a spider. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so much better stuff out there. But when you rent it, you pay a monthly fee that is eventually going to cost you more than if you just went out and bought it. And it's just inferior technology. So
Yeah, it is. Well,
some people should go out and buy their own routers.
That's true, but so many people out there they're afraid of the tech. They don't want to bother with it. They just said, "Come in, install it, and go away," and they find that.
Well, you're right, but I think that what you said previously is really right too. Is that what Ben said is really where it's at. People don't know that they're renting the modem.
Yes.
We just had a changeover here. Time Warner has given us better speeds, and as you can see, I've kept my video on for over an hour, which is really good. I couldn't do that before. So Time Warner has given me better speeds. They're not charging much, and
Whoops.
They heard her.
no, I did that. I pressed on it. I'm sorry. They announced that a lot of people had to upgrade their modems to get the higher speeds because they had old equipment. But all these people that I've talked to didn't realize that they were paying extra money on their phone bill on their internet bill for this. I said, check out your bill, and it's up to $8 a month to rent the modem.
You see, and here I thought it was our daytime connection that was approving, but you're also increasing.
No, I pressed the button on my headphones.
No. I mean your internet speed. I thought it was our daytime connection, but no, evidently you've also improved it.
Yeah, because last month I think I was able to stay on the video all month too.
Yes,
and it's one of those dirty little secrets, because I've heard stories of people who actually do own their own router and say that I would like to use mine, and they twist people's arms. They say that's not compatible. They do this, do that. Like they really do want you to rent a modem and a router from them, but you
Well,
can.
sure.
I mean they're Walmart, Best Buy, Target, whatever. They have shelves stocked full of
Routers.
routers. So
Now, I
you
will
can.
tell people you do have to use an approved router.
Right.
So if you're on, say, Time Warner like I am, you go online and there's a place there where they list the approved modems, and you just go out and buy one of those, and maybe it costs $80, and so you've paid for it in 10 months.
Excellent.
And most contracts are usually 2 years minimum. So
Yeah.
What are we looking at? What is that a picture of that you have up there, Ben? Is that's on our?
that's the OnHub. That's the
That's the
Google
OnHub.
OnHub.
Okay, good. All right. All right. Well, again, we're continuing to talk. Let's see if we can get the iPhones, and then I know you have a whole list of other things. By the way, the other thing was that the Apple TV is also running the tvOS, which is I guess more for developers, but because what Tim Cook came out and originally said, TV is really all about apps today, and I think he's right when he says that. So the tvOS is going to afford the developers an opportunity to write for Apple TV. It's not a closed system in that way.
I don't think that TV is all about apps. I don't watch it, but that sounds a little bit too futuristic. Like that's definitely the way it's going. People love apps. They love Netflix. They love Twitch. They love all these different apps where they can get content through these apps. But to say that TV today, as it is about apps, is jumping the gun just a little bit.
I don't think he said TV. I think he said the future of TV.
Yeah, he was talking about the future. He says TV,
yeah,
and he considers his Apple TV being in the future.
wow.
The one they just came out with is what he's going to be selling for the next few years.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I think that moves as we can start, and then we'll get into we're almost near the top of the hour. We're going to.
We have 3 minutes to cover our phones. Let's make it quick, people.
I don't think so. But we're going to start off with the new iPhones that were announced today. Again, I didn't get to watch the end of it, so I don't know when these iPhones are available. Did you get to see? Did they announce when they're going to be available?
I didn't see it unless Ben can, if he's going through the slides there, if he can tell us that.
Right. Anyway, it's the Apple 6S and the 6S Plus.
Right.
And they've really done a lot with these phones. I mean, usually it's a small leap, but they're combining this with iOS 9. The new iPhone 6S and the 6S Plus you're going to allow you to do some really amazing things.
Is that going to want you to go upgrade from your iPhone 6? It's not going to make me want to upgrade. Like I looked at the Apple TV. Okay, that's great. That's way up there. That's a step above. But the iPhones, all right, they added these force gestures, which are very nice.
The force gesture, they're calling that 3D touch.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And now remember, I have a 5S. I don't have, so from my 5S, I think I would upgrade to the 6S.
For you, yes. But I have a 6 Plus, and I'm not chomping at the bit to upgrade to this new phone. Of course, now we didn't hear the whole presentation, so they might have said something spectacular after we had to turn it off.
Well, first of all, let's start with the easy stuff. This rose gold that they've announced. They're saying it's a new material that's used in the space agency by the space agencies.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be extremely rugged. The glass also has this. What is it? This ion. I only
stronger glass. Yes.
They're claiming it's one of the strongest glasses out there for a smartphone.
Now you really wanted the gold when you got your 5, right?
I might go
so
for
now, do you want the gold or do you want the rose gold?
I might go for the rose gold. I like the gold, but
the rose gold to me screams iPhones are so masculine. Rose gold is going to soften it a bit and appeal to women. Like that's all rose gold screams to me.
I think you're absolutely right, and guess what? It appeals to me.
And that's fine. That's fine. They should have a wider offering.
The Apple Watch that they showed in rose tone, I looked at that and said, well, maybe I do need an Apple Watch anyway. Where last year I wasn't crazy about getting one. So you're absolutely right. They know their market. They know who they're selling to. So, what were the other colors? Oh, it was the space gray, the
Right. And silver.
Yeah, it looks
silver,
like gold, silver, like a charcoal, space gray, I think you said, and
Mhm.
the rose gold. So,
and the rose gold. So it doesn't even come in black
No.
or white. Oh, because the first one was white, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But those are the new colors. Also, they started to talk about that they've reinforced it. So I'm assuming that the controversy they had with Bengate.
Yes, they've eliminated that.
With the
Oh, and just to throw out there real quick, both phones will be released on September 25th. So.
Oh, coming right up. Well, there
Yeah.
you go, Craig.
Yeah.
By next month, you can have one.
it looks that way, and I think I qualify with my plan.
I'm sure you do by now.
All right, listen.
I hope I do because mine's a little wet behind the ears.
You left it out in the rain. I understand.
Oh, wet behind the ears. Oh, that was
Oh,
pretty
thank you.
corny.
Thank you.
Hey, we're at the top of the hour. We're going to continue on. Sandy Berger, our consumer electronics expert, is here with us. 347-884-8881 if you want to get on with us live if you're listening to us between 3 and 5 p.m. Another news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston's all coming up here on Computer America. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we continue on with our consumer electronics expert, Sandy Berger, is here with us, and we're continuing. It's interesting because I went to the Apple website, and they've just updated it. So now everything we're talking about is now featured. The iPad Pro is now shown, and all the iPhones. So basically, everything that has just been displayed, they're now displaying the iPhone 6s and the 6s Plus, and so a lot of interesting things that are now being shown on the Apple website at apple.com. Of course, you can listen to us at ComputerAmerica.com. Everything is there. They're saying it'll be available, as you mentioned, September 25th. You can get the phones, the iPhone 6s. And since I have a 5S, I will probably update to the 6s, given the way things are going. So Sandy, so let's continue on. So I know you only caught part of the live interview, but let's talk about the iPhone. You're saying you would not upgrade to the and you're still muted. You have to unmute yourself through Google Hangouts. You have to you hit the there it is. Okay. So Sandy, the iPhone 6s.
Okay. Well, Ben is supposed to be able to unmute me if I forget. Right, Ben?
He's busy.
No.
Okay.
No, I've not been given that authority. Not
No? All right. Would you give him that authority so in case I make another mistake, he can correct it for me?
yet. Right.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what else that the iPhone has, if there was anything else in there that would make me want to run up and buy one. I thought the touch thing, the pressure sensitive thing is very nice. I mean, basically you're doing it adds one overlay to the phone, so you can press and get up recently used things and things that you would make it more useful.
Right. In other words, I like that because right now, if you get something, you tap it, you read it, and you say, "Oh, that's not the one." You have to go back. Now you can just hover over it and just press lightly down, and then you'll see it. And then if you press further down, it'll actually pop up, and that'll be the thing that you're looking at.
And I'll be interested to see how all that transfers out, because one place that the iPhone has always been lacking in is a back button. The Android back button I use all the time. And so this is, in a way, going to be something like a back button, or I don't know how it's all going to work, but it should be a better system.
Okay. Um, So, by the way, we if you want to get in touch with us, you certainly can. Give us a call at 347-884-8881. And also, any of our web pages at computeramerica.com, there's on the upper right-hand corner, it says Submit a Question. You click that, you'll go to our question submission page, and you can just ask a question, and then hit the Submit button, and Ben and I will see it. And that just happened. We got a question. Although it's not relevant what we're talking about, he says, by the way, you can listen to music on Pandora today only, ad-free.
That's right. Yes, they're celebrating an anniversary, and I got an email from Tim Westergren saying, would I promote that? So thank you, listeners. So because I pretty much forgot about it, but it's absolutely free, ad-free today on Pandora. And if you have an Echo, you can listen to Pandora on your Echo.
Yeah, it's Pandora's birthday is
yes.
That's what's happening.
Well, ad-free, yes and yes, but they do have this annoying little habit of every 3 or 4 songs they'll say today is ad-free, brought to you by Pandora, blah blah blah, and then but it's like every 3 songs, so it's like
oh well,
okay.
All right. Well, we can complain about that later.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we call something saying that's ad-free?
Yeah.
That's called having your cake and eating it too.
Okay.
Right.
I'll have to mention that in my reply to Tim. I did want to go back to the Apple thing. You know, I mean, we could spend almost as long talking about Apple stuff that they did in their demo. But the one thing I wanted to say is, Craig, guess where I watched the live streaming of the Apple event?
Well, I watched it on my Mac.
On an Android phone, and it burst into flames.
No, I watched it on my Windows 10.
Oh, okay.
And that is a first. Talk about Microsoft getting together with Apple.
You know, that's interesting because, as you know, I don't know if people realize, if you try to watch the Apple Live video stream using Firefox or any other browser or Chrome, it'll come up and say, sorry, this only works with Safari.
Right.
This is Apple's browser.
And only on Apple devices. So you need an Apple tablet, an iPhone, or whatever. But the reason for this is because Edge, the new browser in Windows 10, is now supporting HTTP live streaming, which is what Apple uses. And there was some get together on that as well. So it's nice to see these 2 companies getting together on a few things that'll help, you know, us lowly people out here.
Exactly, it is nice.
And it streamed beautifully. I mean, it was no problem. I have had problems previously on my Apple iPad to get the events to come through. So I was really excited when it came through with no problem at all on my Edge browser.
That's good. That's nice to know.
Yep.
So let's finish. So basically, we're finishing up with the iPhone. The 3 big announcements were the iPad Pro, the Apple TV, and the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. I think those are the 3. The Apple Watch was sort of like a little bit of a throwaway. They had some new covers, new bands.
Well, they had a lot of new apps.
New apps, yeah.
And a lot of medical apps for the watch, so we should mention that.
And new medical apps.
Yeah.
And our consensus is if you have anything other than if you have an iPhone 6, well, if you want to be the or 6 Plus and you want to be the you want to always have the latest version, then okay, or if you qualify. But if you have anything, let's say from a 5S down, then it makes sense to upgrade to the 6S or the 6S Plus.
But they are expensive. I mean, with all the service providers, AT&T and all of them are eliminating contracts. You think that would be something really good for the end user, but these new iPhones are going to cost $700, almost $800, I believe.
They're not. I mean, are they not subsidizing them, or what's happening?
They're doing it on monthly payments, and you have to go in and see. I haven't really delved into that. This has all happened just recently. Mm-hmm. Verizon has. Well, they're still doing contracts for previous users.
Right.
But I think the new users, they're not.
Right, and I think you can actually lease the iPhone through Apple, and then take that phone over to wherever you want, and then sign up for a plan there. So, yeah.
So what's the leasing program through Apple? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, it's right here actually.
Okay, let's see.
And it's on a 2-year contract with Apple. It's
Right.
going to be all these prices here up on the screen right now. So the iPhone
Right.
6, 200 for 16 gig, 300, 64, 400, 128.
Well,
and
these
iPhone
are the iPhone 6s.
Yeah.
These are not the 6s.
Right, you're right. The 6S is
Are going to be more expensive. I
yeah.
was
Oh
told.
yeah, for sure.
But that'll give you an idea of the cost per month anyway.
Yeah.
$27 to $32 a month. So if these are $35 a month.
So it says here, the iPhone 6S Plus. Oh no, 6S Plus. Yeah. So starts at 300 and then 400 for 64 and 500 for 128. So it's $500 on top of a 2-year plan.
Right. Yeah. Or on top of whatever you're going to pay for the service.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somehow the consumer just doesn't come out on top on this.
Well,
I should write about it. I should really get involved in it. And when T-Mobile first started this, I wrote an article for the AAR people on it, and it's probably time to revisit that.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Sprint was using iPhone Forever. That's the problem. So you subscribe to that their service, and you always are you can always get a new iPhone when it comes out, a new model, and they're calling it iPhone Forever. I don't know the details, but I just heard that last week. So
okay.
Well, this article again here just said finally Apple is also offering a new payment plan for $32 a month, which lets you lease an iPhone with Apple Care Plus warranty and return it for a new model every year. So $32, and you
get a new bottle every year. It really just depends how much that you're going to have to pay for the service.
Right.
Exactly. And I guess that's between you and whatever carrier that you have.
Exactly.
All right. All right. Let's move away from Apple. I think at this point we've covered everything. And again, you can always listen to our show again, archive. Just go to our archives page at computeramerica.com and all the different places you can listen to the show. Apple, iTunes, the Blog Talk Radio Network, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. We just added those two. You can listen to the show again at your own convenience. But right now, we're at our normal daytime hour, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time.
So we did cover everything Apple. So everything is mobile, like it's just about iPads, iPhones, and Apple TV. Like they didn't do anything about their desktop lineup.
No, I don't think so.
We didn't see anything about it at all.
Okay.
You know where I could find that real fast if we go here and we just go to
Well,
Mac.
their bread and butter is their iPhones and iPads, and
something like 70% of their revenue comes from that.
Yeah, no announcements. Here, I'm going to the Apple website. No new announcements in the Mac platform. It's all the iPhone and the iPad.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to our next topic with Sandy Berger. And again, our apologies. We just haven't had a chance to get this up on our show notes. Some we did, but we got them late. So you'll get to see them after the show. We'll post them up at computer.
Yeah, so please go ahead and look at them if you're listening to the recording or whatever. I've got a lot of links there to all the products that we're talking about. I've got information on the Apple event, and also links to two other places, CompuKiss.com, that of course I write for all the time, but I'm also writing for HardwareSecrets.com again, and for newdomain.com, or .net.
So it's Hardware Secrets, okay?
Yes, I've just I put in the show notes. I put links to two new articles in there that are up there now, which is the Amazon Echo in depth. I've written about it before, but not as in-depth as that. It's really everything you need to know about the Echo. And the same with Philips Hue light bulbs, and I've got some new ones coming up there before too long.
All right. So let's switch gears, and we're going to take a look now at a preview of the Samsung Note 5.
Let's go on and put that at the bottom, if you don't mind.
All right, then let's go.
Okay.
Then let's go to the next topic, which is the Neat Connect Cloud Scanner and Digital File System.
Yes, that's a really nice a nice one. Are you familiar with the Neat?
Yes,
They
very
came
much.
out with Neat Receipts and then another Neat product, Neat Desktop,
They
and
were
now
on the show. They were on the show not too long ago.
okay, all right. Well, then maybe you can add something to this that we talk about it. But they sent me one for review, and I was impressed with the quality of what the thing does. The Connect is like $4.99, but what it does is it has slots for documents, for receipts, for business cards, and a removable input tray, and just about everything that you could want, like paper guides and all that. But the best part about it is that it's Bluetooth.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry, it's wireless.
wow.
I was thinking Apple. It's wireless, so it connects, so you don't have to have it connected to your computer. If it's more convenient for you to have it on the entryway table where you would normally deposit all your receipts and stuff, that might be a good way to be able to just scan them right in.
Now the Neat Connect is the one is their premium scanner.
Is their premium scanner, yes.
It actually has a little screen on the front of it. Looks very, very nice.
It's very nice, except it is big. It's not that much bigger than the desktop one that they had, or they still have. But I wish they had made it black. Let me put it that way. It's a white device. Okay, I have the dimensions here. It's not that big, but it's 11 inches by 8.7 inches by 7.5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks bulkier because it's white. That's the way I look at it. If they had done it in black, it wouldn't look quite so bulky.
The television commercial that I saw that was, kind of pushing, or, last time I saw their television commercial, which, might have been a while ago, but they're like, they had these people with these huge desks, and they're just covered with receipts and business cards and recipes, and it's just covered in paper, and then it's just this one honking piece of equipment that, like, I guess there's room for it after you clear out your desk of all your paper. Like
exactly.
That's what they're thinking.
And the beauty of the Connect one is you don't have to have it on your desk. Like I said, you have it where you walk in the room and unload your pockets, because then you can just scan the business cards in and scan whatever you want in there. And they've really thought it out. I looked at this product. I had a Neat scanner probably when they first came out, maybe 4 years ago, maybe a little bit more. And I was not impressed. But this one does just about everything. You can scan to the cloud. You can scan from your mobile devices. It's very well thought out. It's got things like saved searches. So if you search for something once, you can go back and search again very easily. It's got filters. You can search for like a single name. So if you got a business card from Tom somebody, but you can't remember his last name, you can just search for Tom, and all your Toms in the business cards will come up. So they've thought it out well. It's not cheap at $4.99. It's probably worth it. The only thing that bothers me about the Neat Connect from the beginning is that there is a monthly fee. So you're using it to put these things in the cloud, which is very convenient, but you're paying a monthly fee for that.
So it doesn't go into your computer. You have to use the cloud.
No, you don't have to use the cloud. You can download things to your computer, but you're still going to pay for the services the way I understood it. Now I've just gotten it, so I haven't gone through in depth.
You might want to research a little bit more. I believe that if you use their cloud service, that you pay a monthly fee. But if you download it directly to your computer, or so you can use it in Quicken, or just use the software that's on it, then I don't think that there's a monthly fee associated. But
I guess my confusion was because this one is, it'd be Wi-Fi, so it could connect to your computer Wi-Fi.
It does.
I have to look that up. The fees are not exorbitant. For one user, it's $5.99 a month, $14.99 a month for two, and $24.99 a month for five. Of course, that's for a business.
This is a side effect of the wonderfulness we call the cloud, and that is they have all these services, your video surveillance cameras, all these things that work wirelessly in the cloud, and you can access them. But they all have an associated fee which is very small. It's only $5.99 a month. But when you start stacking them together, and you're using 5, 6, 7, 8 of these services, then you're gonna start paying.
I know you think that it's gonna start adding up and people aren't gonna like it, but fortunately, personally, that is what people like. People like paying $8 a month for Netflix, and then on top of that, a music service, and then on top of that, something else. Like, people like these smaller, incremental, no contract payment plans. It's just what they like.
Ben, I think Ben, there's a generational divide here.
Okay, well, that's what I find my friends like. Yes.
Be honest, I think that the younger people are more used to that. They don't mind paying $8 a month, right? Older people tend to say, oh, I don't need another monthly fee, especially those who are retired and on a fixed budget. And they're saying to themselves, well, wait a minute, if I pay $6 a month to neat receipts, and then I want my next issue magazines for $10 a month, and then I want Netflix for $8 a month, and then, and whether you believe it or not, it does add up. And in the minds of some older people, that's how they look at it. Now, Craig can tell me how he looks at it.
Well,
you're going to age yourself.
I guess so, but I would tend to lean toward what you're saying. I mean, because there's now I love the fact that Netflix allows you to do a family plan. You only really need one family thing, and I've said, hey, Ben, because they can do accounts now. When you go to the one Netflix, says who's watching. I can say it's me, and I would have or Ben. But for some reason, we all have our own Netflix accounts, and I'm not sure why we continue to do that. But if more and more of these services allow you to do that, then the fees would come down, would they not?
Yeah, they might, but if people are making money on it, if these companies are making money on it, it's very hard for them to reduce the prices unless there's competition for them to do so.
Yeah. So I would tend to lean toward the older mindset, and that is, as you continue, they do add up. If you have 5, 6, 7, 8
That's
of
right.
these, they start adding up.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's again, it has to be a generational thing because, they start adding up because you're getting a lot for it. No one is forcing you into a 2-year contract. No one's forcing you into a service. Like, you get your pick of litter, and you can hop in and hop out whenever you want. They add up, but at some point, you're paying for 10, 15 different services. You must be getting a lot out of those 10, 15 services.
Well, you might be getting a lot out of them, but the part of the problem is maybe it's as we age, we get a little forgetful, and sometimes we're paying for things that we don't want to be paying for anymore. But the monthly fees keep going on, and don't tell me that the youngsters don't have that problem too.
Well, no, that I will say is part of their business model as well. They're hoping that you sign up for the service, and it's so small when you check your statements. You see that you see $6, $7, $10, and you just kind of say, "Oh yeah, I'm still doing that." I'll get to unsubscribing that later. Like it's at that threshold where they kind of hope you forget about it and you just keep paying for it.
And a lot of people do, and that's how they make a lot of money.
Well,
right.
Ben, let me ask you this: if we have one family Netflix account, and when you go to Netflix, it would just say who's watching, and I would have mine, and we would only be paying the $8 a month rather than me paying $8, you paying $8. Why can't we just have the one family account? Because
you can only watch one instance of Netflix at a time. So if I'm watching Netflix, as I usually do 24/7, and you want to watch something, then it kicks me off, and I won't have that.
I did not know that. So you can only stream, one family member can stream networks at Netflix.
I'm sure they have family plans, but for the $8 a month, yes, it's one instance on any device.
Then all right, well that makes sense. Okay, then that makes sense.
Okay.
But I still, well, I'm kind of going to what Sandy says, that these things do add up, and you got to be careful, because then you have the HBO Go, and you've got Hulu, and we've got Netflix.
HBO Now. HBO Go is free.
Yeah, HBO Now. I'm sorry, HBO Now. They start to add up.
They do, and I'm going to have to get MLB TV now with my new Apple. So it's another fee.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's go back and talk about the Neat Connect for a little bit more.
Sure.
what did you learn about it from having them on the show that you might want to say?
Well, again, I liked it. I mean, the fact that it hooks up seamlessly. You don't have to have the unit where your computer is. I mean, technically, if you have a large key table, you can leave it on the key table. Although key tables tend to be smaller. But
And then their other bread and butter is, of course, their OCR and their essentially automatic filing system that goes into it. So
that's very nice. I really like that because then you can, because it will take it and put it in, and it will also work. It also works with Quicken, which I like too. So if you already have Quicken set up and you're tired of typing in the receipts, everything, the Neat receipts, well, the Neat Premium will actually read it directly into your Quicken as well. I know for a while there was a problem. It would only work with the Windows environment, but now I know it works for the Mac as well. So it's a very nice system. That's my thoughts on that. So I give the Neat a thumbs up.
I liked it too. I really did. I liked the fact that it not only works with QuickBooks and TurboTax, but it also works with the Evernote, Google Drive, Excel, H&R Block, Dropbox.
Does it work with Quicken now? I know QuickBooks. Does it also?
I'm sorry, QuickBooks. Yes, I'm sorry. I misspoke. It's QuickBooks only.
QuickBooks. So I thought they finally had it working with Quicken as well.
Not as far as I could see that it was QuickBooks only, and what it did for QuickBooks is that if you had a transaction, you put a receipt in, it could actually hook that up right to your information in QuickBooks, which is kind of neat if you're a bookkeeper or the person who has to keep the books.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right. Okay. So thumbs up for Sandy. She likes it, and
right.
I like it.
And
right.
I just want to mention that the Neat Receipts is $149, and the Neat Desk is $399. Now, the first one just does receipts. The second one does other things, but it doesn't have the Wi-Fi and some of the other things that this Connect has.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that we move to the next topic, and here because that is
it's going to be the Acer.
Acer Aspire Z. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a very nice computer. It's sitting in front of me right now. I've actually got two computers side by side that are Windows 10 computers. One is an HP and one is Acer.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both relatively same price, relatively same features, and the Acer has a bigger screen and a nicer screen. The colors are beautiful on the Acer.
Now this is again an all-in-one, and if I were to look at the Aspire Z and not look at the keyboard or anything, and I would just look at it, it looks a lot like an iMac. The base, it's very, very similar.
Exactly. This is their iMac substitute, you might say, or competitor.
All right.
Yeah, it looks just like an iMac. It's maybe a little bit bigger screen, and it's a touch screen. That's the biggest difference. And with Windows 10, it's very nice to have the touch screen. And I sit fairly close to mine, so I can touch it all the time. And then I turn over here and I go to my Windows 7 machine, which is not a touch screen, and I find myself touching the screen. So once you do get used to using that, and that's something that that Apple hasn't done yet, which actually surprises me.
I don't know. I still have my concerns with touchscreens because as easy as it is, you find your arm gets tired after doing it a while.
Well, that's the beauty of having something like this Acer, and actually it's called the Acer Aspire Z. They've got different levels in the series, but this one is the highest level, and it comes with a keyboard and a mouse that's wireless. And Windows 10 adjusts to whether you're using the touch screen so you can use all three at the same time. So you don't always have to have your arm up there. If you're typing something, you're going to reach for the mouse. And of course, it would work with like a Logitech touchpad as well. So you could use the touchpad, the mouse, the keyboard, and the touch screen. And you tend to get used to doing some things one way and some things the other, and it just gives you more variety and more options.
Ben, I already know. I think I know what you're going to say because Ben is still likes the tower configuration. But what do you think of something like this?
Well, I think.
I was asking Ben. Ben,
Oh,
what?
you're asking Ben. Sorry.
Oh, uh, uh, what do I think of all-in-ones and touchscreens?
Yeah.
Uh, we have one up north with that we use in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and I can see in certain situations, like for your everyday computer or your everyday workhorse and that kind of thing. No, all-in-ones just they don't do it for me. But as an entertainment solution, as just something to have somewhere in a public area, like that works for me. It's again, you're asking a gamer what they think of all-in-ones, and it's always not going to be very favorable. But for ease of use and just get at it and start using it, all-in-ones can't be beat. So that's why I like them in public areas. They can be touched, they can be mouse and keyboard, they can pull up anything you want. I like them in public areas.
All right.
But what do you think, Ben?
Wait.
1 second.
We're at the bottom of the hour, so we'll take a little break.
All right.
You're listening to the Computer America Show. Sandy Berger is here with us, our consumer electronics expert. We're talking about the Acer Aspire Z. We'll come back to it right after this break. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf's staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
No, there's no fun at political parties. Oh, hi, it's Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, Flume. A gizmo the size of a pocket lighter has a flip-down plug for a smartphone's audio jack, a flip-around mouthpiece into which you blow, and a small, fairly quiet siren that lets you hear how steadily you're blowing. This is Flume, F-L-O-O-M-E, an Italian-designed product that essentially smells the alcohol on your breath and reports to a free companion app. The app warns if you're over the limit for your current locale and gives you the option of phoning a friend or calling for a taxi, or it can estimate how long it will take you to sober up. Bottom line, even people who won't believe friends who say they're too drunk to drive can get the truth from a Flume and maybe survive. Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. That's a neat little product. That's get those in someone's pocket for a night out on the town, and it could save a life. I like that technology doing what it does best. So, welcome back to the Computer America Show. We are in our last half hour of our show, and we have Sandy Berger here with us. She's joining us for both hours, and we are talking about the Acer Aspire Z all-in-one computer, and we unfortunately had to cut you off there, right for the break. But I think you're about to ask me a question.
I was going to ask Ben, what is it you don't like about the all-in-ones being a gamer? I mean, if the computer has the strength you need, I realize it doesn't have the upgradability. Is that your complaint?
Well, no, all-in-ones they're crammed inside their jackets. It's just the way it is. To give them, the smaller form, to give them the heat capacity, to give them everything, to make them essentially all-in-ones, you have to cut corners. And I'm looking at their highest offering. I'm sure this is the one you have. And for a gaming computer, these specs honestly aren't going to cut it. They have an Intel Core i3 processor, the lowest grade of processor.
The one I have is an i5, but go ahead.
i5, but at 3.1 gigahertz, that's one of the slowest speeds. 6 gigs of RAM, and that's actually on the low end nowadays. And that doesn't even go into some of the other specs that I'm currently drawing a blank on.
You recently added a Titan X,
Right, right. And yeah, you're right. And,
okay.
This doesn't have.
Yeah. Well, this is all right. We'll give you that. That you probably want faster speeds and things like that for gaming, but for an everyday computer, this really does compare to the iMac, because the one I have has 8 gigs of memory, an i5 quad core. It's got the processing power that most people need for everyday computing.
No, and with specs like those, it's not going to lag. It's not going to hold. It's not going to stall up. It's not for everyday computing. That's perfect. It's just to get it all in there, they do cut corners. It's just the form factor. Like, I'm not going to expect a smartphone to have the capabilities of some higher end tablets.
Right.
It's it is what it is. But like I said earlier, for an everyday in a public place kind of computer, I use it in the kitchen for looking up recipes and things like that, or having Netflix play in the background. You can't beat them. It's perfect.
Yeah, it has a lot of usefulness for depending. Of course, buying a computer, period, is an individual thing. Whether you're a gamer or a lot of people don't need as much as this computer has. As far as memory and speed, it's got a terabyte drive that some people would never even come close to filling up. But yet, it's a good everyday computer. And if you compare it to the iMac, which, like I said, I think it's an iMac competitor, this particular one is, on the Acer site, I think it's $899, and this is their highest end one. You can get less. And it's selling at Amazon for like $50 or $60 less. But what you get a lot of computer for that price. If you compare it to an iMac, I believe an iMac with the same specs is going to be around $1,200, $1,250, something like that. So, I mean, and this computer comes with Windows 10. Now, Windows 10 is the closest Microsoft has come to the Mac operating system, and I think that Microsoft has excelled the Mac operating system for the first time ever with Windows 10. And just the idea that you can have a touch screen and various things like that, it's a nice computer for anyone who wants something very capable for everyday computing. And I could see this being useful in an office as well, because it's pretty speedy for doing videos and video processing or whatever you have.
All right.
Right. I'm not going to knock the specs. The specs are very good, and you're right. Where the iMac is notoriously expensive for what you get, and with similar specs as are in this, for an iMac you'll be paying $500-$600 more.
Exactly.
So if
which is almost double the price.
Right. And then iMacs, like, there's no possibility of coming with a touchscreen, right?
Right. As far as I know. It's one of those things where Apple has put its foot down.
Yep.
said, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, just like stylus with an iPad. Oh, wait a minute.
Right. Oh.
Right, they did change that.
They did change that. That's right.
They can change. If they think that it's viable, then they'll do it.
It just takes them a little longer.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anything else you want to mention about the Aspire before?
No, I just think it's well priced for the specs and for what you get.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Well, let's move on to Microsoft's Edge, their browser. I understand this browser has, to me, a lot of potential. In its first iteration, well, no, but the promise that the Edge browser holds, I think, is enormous. One of the things that leads me to say that is when they implement plugins or
extensions.
Yes. One of the amazing things about this browser is that it's going to use extensions from other browsers without having to rewrite them. And to me, that means all the people who have those extensions, they don't have to rewrite it again. It'll just accept those. And to me, that's huge. It's got to be huge.
And not only that, but people who are using various browsers because of the extensions, like Firefox, there's got to be millions of people that are using that browser because they were the first ones to have good extensions, and they just stuck with it since then. But now, if they can switch to the Edge and actually get all the extensions from Firefox and plus extensions from others, it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Now, who I would like in this conversation is Ben, because Ben is our resident Chrome user who swears by Chrome and loves Chrome. Would something like this sway you from using Chrome, Ben, to take another look at Edge?
I used to be a Mozilla Firefox for the longest time. I never went over to Chrome. And the one thing that pushed me over was a huge security flaw in Mozilla Firefox. It lasted like a week and a half. I hung in there for about 4 days, and I was like, that's just poor support, and I switched over. And I haven't had a reason to yet, but really all it takes is just those one-time events for people to switch over, and myself included. And with browsers, it's not really, what are the competitors doing, and that's interesting, I'll go do that. It's what is the one I'm using now, what are they doing wrong? And is anyone else looking to fix that? And right now, with Chrome, I would love for them to be doing something wrong. It means there's room for improvement. But there's nothing wrong with what Chrome is doing now and what's offering, so I really don't feel a need to, look into others.
Okay, well, you're kind of like in my same mental state as far as browsers go, because I also started off with Firefox. I used it for years because of the extensions, basically. And then I got turned off, as you did, probably around the same time, because not only were they lagging in security updates, but then they would have these other updates all the time, and they had so many updates that the extensions wouldn't work. So why was I putting on extensions? So I also moved to the Chrome browser. And to be honest with you, I use the Chrome browser today. I use the Edge browser too, just to see how it's progressing. But right now, if you go on a Windows 10 machine and you use the Edge browser, it is still lacking. I wrote an article about this for anewdomain.net, and some of the things that I actually wrote in there a month ago, Microsoft has already corrected.
Yeah, you called it a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, had beautiful, beautiful things going for it, but it wasn't quite ready. It's not quite agitated yet, you might say. And so I don't use it on an everyday basis, but like for this Apple web conference, to be able to use it for that was really exciting to me. And they keep adding new things. Now, before you could not easily send web pages to the desktop, which they corrected. You can do that. My problem with Microsoft, as they add things, they don't necessarily tell you that they're adding those things. So the end user just has to find out for themselves. And if it's something that they've changed that you used all the time, then you've got to figure out how did they change it. I think they should be doing more to educate people as they change this, and this has to do with Windows 10. But Microsoft has already announced that they're going to have a big update to Windows 10 sometime in November. It was supposed to be October. They've now moved it to November. And that's when the extensions for Edge are supposed to come out. And I assume between now and then there's going to be more additional features added to Edge and just these little tweakings that they missed at the beginning. It's very much, Edge browser is very much like the Chrome browser as far as the looks of it. It's very clean, and if they can accomplish what they want to accomplish with this, with putting on the extensions from every other browser, I will definitely move to it because some of the features are great. Have you tried the browser, Craig?
Why don't you, like, for example, I think Ben is doing the, he's actually writing on a website.
Oh, he's writing on a web page?
Yeah, exactly. The notation.
Yeah, that's a great feature because you can highlight things, you can circle things, you can put it in blue, red, whatever you want, and you can cut things too. So you can use that to just cut a piece of the web page. You don't want the whole page. You just want this piece. You can cut it out, and then you can save it. You can send it to people. Very, very useful. I think that's a very useful feature, and that has also improved a little bit since they brought it out, but there might be even more improvements as they go on.
So what are you doing? Like he's like doing a drag. If you're watching us on a live video stream, you can see Ben copying and writing on it and dragging it.
Just use every tool available, and it's a neat little feature. The browser definitely, like, if they were hoping to make a modern browser, because their old Internet Explorer browser was just so dated,
junk.
could not break its stigma around it.
Yeah,
If their goal was to make a modern browser, they've done it. Mission accomplished. Now they just need to, kind of bring it up to speed with the others, where, it's full of plugins, it's full of add-ons, it's full of content, it's full of, really, really good-looking pages. Like, they just need to beef it up. They have the infrastructure, time to beef it up.
Exactly. And they have some nice things in there. They have an offline reading, which I use Pocket for, but that's a pretty decent way to do that. And it also has a feature that it takes the ads out of the web page.
Oh, like was it AdAware?
Yeah, it's like that, but basically it just
Ad Blocker Plus.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, only better.
So AdBlock Plus, but it works better. And
yeah, and it takes the ads out, and then you can just see it. Actually, I think it takes more than the ads. It takes miscellaneous stuff out too, and you find out you're just reading a web page. Now, I really like reading things. I guess I'm a book person, but the big YouTube phase where everybody is watching videos, I understand it. But when I get an article that I want to learn how to do something, not visually, but I want to learn about something, I guess, I would much rather read it than watch a video. And this actually helps you do that if you're a person who likes to read things.
Okay.
Right.
Now, you're scrolling through the Edge browser now?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what website would have ads that we could, kind of show what it has. And, ads still get through. Ads are a necessary part of any kind of browsing experience.
Yeah.
And a few get through, but I mean, it does block
times. Yeah.
Yeah, it does block a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it has all the basic necessities, favorites, bookmarks, and you can import, export, all these kind of things. Yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of integration they have with the other services, because that's one thing Windows 10 seems to be doing very, very good at, is integrating other services with other services. So, the Xbox One
right.
with Windows 10, what kind of integration they're going to be putting in with just anything else. So that's one thing that might bring me over, because Chrome has great integration with all of their online services. That's perfect.
Right.
That's what I love. So let's see what Edge can bring to the table in terms of integration.
Okay, well, my prediction is that a year from now you're going to be using Edge instead of Chrome.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. If Microsoft keeps performing as they have
Right.
with the things they've been adding, and if all these extensions and everything work out, I really think it's going to be close.
And really I hate when I meet people who say it, and I hate when my friends say it's this is my browser. It's what I've always liked. I've liked it before anyone else. It was cool. I did it before it was cool. Like, people cling to their browsers and people cling to their technology. That's not the way to go about it. Don't put yourself in a corner. See what's out there. And I'm not going to cling to my Chrome. It's just what does what I need to be done. If something else does something better, I'm willing to jump ship. I owe no man allegiance. So, you could very possibly be right.
I'm amazed that you're saying that as a younger person, because I thought that was also a generational thing where only the older people held on to whatever they were used to, didn't want to get rid of it.
That's what I said at the very beginning, is that I hear it all the time, unfortunately. It does happen with the younger generation, that people do kind of pick their camp and then stick with it. So I hate when people do it, but it does happen.
It does, and that's where we talked a lot about Apple in this show, and you still have the Apple fanboys, and you have Apple people who will buy nothing but an Apple, and that includes paying $500 for an extra for an iMac or whatever, and they've just bought into it, whether it's good or it's not. Like the Apple HomeKit. I think that's also been delayed the same way Apple TV was delayed, and that quite although things are starting to come out for the Apple HomeKit, I think they could still make a dramatic move. But even if they don't make that move, I guess my point is the Apple fans will stick to it, like Craig, right?
Right, Craig.
Right, Craig?
I've never thought of myself as an Apple fan. I just like the Apple.
They have you so brainwashed.
Yeah, I just like the Apple.
I just like Apple stuff. I mean, it all works. I mean,
isn't that being a fanboy?
Yeah.
I use Windows. I use Windows products. Actually, I'm waiting for my Windows 10 upgrade. I haven't given that yet, but I'm still waiting for that. But I just like the seamless integration that I get, and everything just kind of works, and I don't have to worry about it. So.
And you don't have to wait for your Windows 10 upgrade. You can go to the to the Microsoft website.
Yes, I know.
And download it on a USB. And I'll tell you, I've done it 4 or 5 times already. It works like a charm.
Ben did it too, but so I want to be the only one in the family who actually gets the invite and experience that. So
not to point names or say who plays favorites, but my dear mother, your dear wife, has gotten her invitation. So
you did. Okay, well I got ahead of me.
There you go. Now you have no excuse.
Has she updated it yet? Has she done it yet? I don't know.
I don't know if I should do it to her computer, because her computer is rather slow in the processing department, rather slow in the RAM department. I don't know if I should. She's going from Windows 7 to Windows 10.
Okay. Well, most of the computers that I've taken from Windows 7 to Windows 10, as long as if you look on the invite, you can see where it's where Microsoft has said everything is compatible or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the only difference I've seen is that the older computers take a lot longer to update.
Right.
I mean, my newer computers, anything I have here that's a year or 2 old, updated in 45 minutes or an hour. And I think it does also have something to do with your internet connection as well. But you guys have a strong internet connection, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Most of the time you do. The other thing that I'm looking to do is also have Parallels running on my Mac. I have Parallels 11 now, and I want to install Windows 10 on Parallels, so I'm waiting for the invitation to come through that, and then I'm going to install it on the Mac and see how that works.
Okay, well that's a great idea, because people who have installed it on their Macs have been loving it.
Okay, so that's
so for next month we'll talk about that, because I know people are really, really liking that, and my Mac runs Mac.
Yeah.
And my Windows are over here,
And not only that, Parallels is actually going to be on the show in October. We invited Kurt Schmucker, who is the senior product manager for them. They're going to be on the 5th of October, which is the first Monday, and they're going to be on talking about the new version and Parallels Desktop 11 and how it works with Windows 10. So I'll have myself updated, and I'll be able to speak from a firsthand.
That sounds great. I'll be looking forward to that.
Exactly. So we have a few minutes left, and we have time for you to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Note 5.
Yeah, the Note 5 has come out, and we talked a lot about the Apple's new things. Obviously, the Samsung and others have also made recent announcements, and the Note 5 just looks fantastic. And again, if you compare it with the iPhone 6s now, or X Plus, because it's a bigger thing, but it is one of the few phones that has a stylus. And I really did like. I have a Note 4 that I really like with the stylus. Samsung has done a TouchWiz overlay, and I never liked it in years past, but they have gotten better and better, and it's lesser. So they have not totally goofed up the operating system with their TouchWiz. They have actually, with the stylus, and made it better. And the Note 5 has some really fantastic additions. Better cameras and all that, and it just looks fantastic. So I just didn't want to say that we only talk about Apple things here.
No, my goodness, no.
Okay.
Well,
it's actually the Note 5. The Note 5 is the best-looking Note phone that Samsung's ever made, and every year I go to CES, and every year Samsung has had huge booths for their Note phones, and this year I hope they have another one because this is the best-looking phone that they've come out with. I really liked it. The one thing I looked at the Note 5 next to the Apple 6, 6 Plus, and the colors were more vibrant on the Note, quite a bit more vibrant.
Now the Note 5 seems to be edgeless too, on left and right.
Yes, and they changed the feel of it, and it feels very good in the hand too.
Yeah, it looks like you can see the picture there. It's edgeless, which on the left hand and the right side, it goes right to the edge of the phone. There's no bezel that you can
Right, and the only thing that they didn't fix from the Note 4 is that you can put the stylus in backwards. They've changed the stylus. The stylus looks good, but if you're not careful, you can put it in backwards, and I've done that. And
what happens when you do that? Can you not get it out? Or?
Yeah, you have to, go through maybe a tweezer or a needle or pin or something to get it started to come back out, and it will come out. But I thought with the Note 5, they would have solved that problem.
just put a little flare on it or something. But yeah, but it doesn't cause the entire thing to seize up and crash and.
No, it doesn't really cause a problem, and you can get it out. And maybe in the 5 you can get it out easier. But I had already read somebody that said, "Oh, be careful not to put it in backwards."
I understand that they designed it so you cannot, by any means, shape, or accidentally, you cannot insert an Apple Pencil into it.
No, you can't.
Okay.
And that was the other thing I wondered about. To go back to Apple for a minute, the iPad, the new iPad that the Pro. Yeah. Was there a place to store the?
No, they did not show it. There's no place to store the.
Okay. See that?
Yeah, as a clip, you have to put it in your shirt pocket.
No, even in. That's for you, Craig. For Craig, they made it a clip. Oh, that's funny. No, I didn't even see in the keyboard a place to slide it in. Like my Kensington keyboard or Logitech keyboards usually have a place to slide a stylus in.
No, I did not
perceive that.
I thought of that when I saw it, and I said, well, maybe they're just letting you know. But from what I can see, there's no place to store it. You have to carry it separately, or in your purse or your pocket or something.
Maybe we missed something. I hope we did, because that would be.
I bet there's gonna be some kind of carrying case that's gonna, put in your Apple, your tablet, and your keyboard and your pen.
for another $99.
Oh, of course.
There you go.
Of
So
course.
Sandy, listen, I know you're writing again for Computist.com, and where else? What else are you writing for now?
I'm writing for HardwareSecrets.com
Hardware Secrets.
and a new domain.net.
Second.
All right.
So you'll
And-
see my stuff all over the web.
Yeah, and of course, absolutely, and of course, we have a link to Sandy's website at computeramerica.com. Sandy, I want to thank you so much for being with us here
Okay.
today on the show. Stay with us to the end. And again, it was really nice having you make comments on Apple's debut.
It was fun, and I enjoyed doing it in the afternoon instead of a late evening.
Yeah, exactly. Now, coming up tomorrow,
60 seconds.
Slimware Utilities is going to be joining us in the first hour. We're looking forward to that. Always a pleasure having them on the show. And then in the second hour, we're going to have D-Link is going to be here. Ken Lloyd is the Director of Product Marketing for D-Link, and we're going to talk about their consumer camera product offerings. They have all kinds of security, and they're really different from your traditional security cameras, and we're going to find out what makes them that different. They have a whole line of these consumer security cameras in the second hour. So Slimware Utilities in the first hour, and then D-Link in hour 2. Thank you all so much for being with us, and Ben and I will see you same bat time, same bat channel. So until tomorrow afternoon, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy.
10 seconds.
We'll see you.
Good day, everyone.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, and again, thanks to all our viewers out there for watching us on our live video stream. Sandy, again, thanks for being with us. It was a lot of fun, and we'll see you again in the daytime.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
Take
Good
care.
night, everyone. Oh, no. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
That's what we have to learn. It's the
All
afternoon.
right.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.